This is Patti Murphy, and she is with Long and Foster. And you've been a realtor for how long?
7 years.
7 years. And in that time that you've been a realtor, sorry, Liz is bringing me coffee. You want to say good morning, Liz? You should totally say good morning to Patti, because you're one of our favorite people.
You're
doing well.
Good to see you.
It's good to see you.
It's good to see you too.
Sorry, she can't hear you because I'm the one that's got the earbud.
Gotcha.
So yeah, so this is Patti Murphy, and she's been doing real estate with Long and Foster for all those 7 years?
Yes.
So you've seen the company actually do some growth as well during that time then?
Yeah, it's been great.
Awesome. And
Embracing change.
why don't you tell me a little bit about why you got into real estate to begin with?
Well, real estate is my third career. I came out of college and was a financial analyst in corporate America, what used to be MCI back in the day. I was a financial planner, analyst for systems engineering division of MCI, was there for about 11 years. Then the babies started to come, and I managed my ex-husband's law firm for 18 years. And then after that, had to find a new career, and I'd always wanted to be a realtor since I was in high school, really. My mom worked for a brokerage. She was an assistant to a broker, and I was an active part of that, helping her after school and stuff when time allowed. And because I had my parents had been gracious enough to pay for my college, they thought that I needed to get a real job and not go into real estate. So that's when I went to corporate America, a very valuable experience, great opportunities. And then just proceeded through the rest of my career. And I finally got a chance. A friend reminded me after my divorce that I had wanted to do this. And here I am doing something I love 49 years after I thought I would.
No, but I think that's awesome. But I'm curious about, because everybody's story is different, but when it comes to real estate, it's almost, it almost sounds like it's always the same thing, where somebody initially wanted to get into it, wanted to do, they were interested in it, but they heard the other voices and went the safer route, right?
Right.
And they go through that. And likewise, I think everybody just kind of, that I've spoken to that's a real estate agent, kind of has the same outlook like you do, that they value the experience. They don't really talk, a bunch of crap about the experience. They talk about the value that they got from it. But ultimately, and thankfully, they found their way to what they really wanted to do. So what is it about real estate you think that attracts so many different types of people, and they end up becoming pretty successful at it?
Well, fortunately, there's plenty of business, and everyone with a different personality attracts a different energy and a different personality. So having that kind of connection with people, and whatever your connection is, and however you connect with people, whether, there's all types of people and there's all types of realtors. So there's that part of it, that I think that's why there's so many different people coming from different places and with different experiences and different values and what have you. My background in corporate America as a financial analyst obviously gave me a better head for numbers. Then running a law firm for 18 years gave me a variety of experiences. Managing the office, knowing how to run a business prepared me obviously for running my own by myself. So that was valuable. But I also feel like, lost my train of thought. I also feel like that knowledge has given me an opportunity to, what's wonderful is the business changes constantly. Look where we are right now. Right. The year started off gangbusters, just crazy. And now it's still going crazy, even with this going on. Not what I would have anticipated, but that's what we're seeing right now. People are buying houses virtually now. 2 this week in my office were bought virtually. Didn't awesome. Even come and step foot in. So that's a hopeful sign. But I think the part I love so much about it is every single solitary day I'm learning something new. I'm meeting new people. It's a very dynamic energy, and it's definitely not stagnant. And that's why, even though we're going through this time, it's going to change our industry. It's going to change our world, but it's going to change our industry, and we're going to take these opportunities will help us all grow and hopefully be better for it, and industry will be better for it, all industries. So that's
I agree. And Obviously, I follow you on Instagram and on Facebook, and we're friends in real life. And I see that you haven't like let up at all. And I've been telling everybody this is not the time to retract. This is the time to definitely just be more relevant in front of people's faces with whatever it is that you do. And
Right.
you're right. I think it is going to change things because you're going to realize now it's going to be a lot easier, and people may actually end up being prone, based off of everything we're going through right now, to purchase even a home more frequently through their, through the virtual, walkthrough and everything like that, and through the personality that the realtor has, to
Hmm.
just purchase it that way. So it
Right.
does change things. And do you think that being in this industry right now, do you think that the outlook for anybody who experienced and remembers the previous recession from like 2008, 2009, do you think that they've learned lessons from then, and that that's probably why they're pushing forward while a lot of people are retracting?
Well, that from 2006 to 2008, that recession was definitely significantly based on the housing market and the loans that were given that should not have been, and just put everything into an upheaval. This
Right,
time, there was definitely a correction coming. I wouldn't have said it was a recession that was coming, but there
right,
was definitely a correction coming. But it wasn't based on the housing market this time.
right,
So
right.
that's refreshing. I think people were just getting ready, recovering from that time frame. I mean, it's been 14, whatever, 12 years.
Yeah.
So it's taken a while for people to recover. And I saw people taking bigger leaps of faith with their homes, and getting out there and doing things that we've never seen before. The calendar turned to 2020, and everyone was now into the housing market. It was very interesting. I mean, it literally turned the page, and here we are.
Yeah.
And that momentum has not stopped, which I find fascinating.
That's a
Um,
good thing. That's a good thing for
yeah,
right now,
it's
though.
fantastic. I just keep waiting, but it's been fantastic. Our contracts are pouring in at our office, and myself, I had 2 contracts ratified this week. So
Wow.
things are moving, things are changing. We just have to be very cautious.
Right.
The people in my industry, what's been a beautiful thing to see is people that normally may not have been as collaborative
Hmm.
and willing to work as friendly, and
Sure.
be willing to put themselves out there. That's all changing. Everyone
Yeah.
is got that I've dealt with has had a great outlook, and we're all on the same page to get to the settlement table and get our clients what their dream home. And that's what it's all about. It's been lovely to see the collaboration.
Well, I'm not surprised about people collaborating on your behalf. To be honest with you, like if you're involved in this picture, I'm not surprised by it, because just to kind of give a note about Patty's personality. When we met at a networking event, and when um, they often stress the importance of having these one-on-one meetings so you get to know each other. And Patty reached out, and I was under the impression that you wanted to talk about hiring us to do some type of video marketing, which we did talk about, but she had done something that I had never anticipated before, and it's never happened to Liz or I. And what she did is she invited us to go out to walk around this park. So, which we thought was like really weird, but it was pleasantly awesome. And what it did was we had an opportunity to walk with Patty for about, I think it was what, 30, 40 minutes maybe.
It's actually an hour.
It was actually an hour. Well,
Yeah.
see, the time flew by so fast because it was so good. The conversation was so good. But and it was awesome because we really didn't even talk really about business. We just really got to know each other on this walk, the three of us. And I really took something away from that because, you know, everybody is trying to accomplish their goals. But I think the reason why you and I connected so well and resonate so well is because we do believe in authenticity and actually getting to know the
Yes.
person, and even seeing if it'd be a good fit to begin with. Because the last thing you
Right.
want to do is work with people that just aren't on the same page with you.
Right.
So it was beautiful. It was a beautiful surprise. And that's why I'm saying I'm not surprised when somebody gets to know you and somebody gets to experience working with you or just having some type of dialogue with you. Your personality really comes out and they can tell that you're trustworthy, that you're kind, and that you have good intentions. So I'm not surprised. I mean, and I'm not surprised that you're being successful during this time right now.
Excellent. Thank you so much. It's very,
No,
very thoughtful of you to say.
no, absolutely. Have you always been like that? Or does it have
I
anything to do with the effect of the fur babies that you have?
Well, they definitely soften my heart, but I have to say, through the changes in careers and life changes and things like that. And God, of course, the Almighty. I feel like I'm finding my way. As I was watching a show last night, every change, every challenge, you find a piece more of yourself.
Yeah.
And it's taken me a few decades, but I feel like I finally have found myself. So,
but you're always smiling, though.
Well, thank you.
You're always smiling, and if you're going through something, I don't think many people are the wiser, and I think that shows a lot of strength. I think it shows a lot of character on your part, because I do think it's important to embrace whatever you're going through, and it's okay to vent, and it's okay to be open about it with the people that you trust.
Mm-hmm.
So there is strength in that vulnerability. And I think you can even use that to help other people. But I don't. A lot of times people say, like, no, you're stronger when you're vulnerable, and I agree with that. But I think there's a selflessness to it too, when you are out in the world and you're going through something, but you still put on the smile, because you're not making it about yourself. You're trying to be present and there for the people that you're trying to serve. And
Right.
I see that with you. I see you constantly putting people before you. And I think that's why, if you're blessed right now, and I do believe you are, I think that's why you're blessed right now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
For me, this is a business, sure, but I'm not the type of person that's out there doing lead generation and things like this. It's more important for me to get to know you and Liz through that walk, and understand each other and understand each other's story. As we all know, you don't know what someone's going through, or what they've been through, or their journey, or their amazing things they've done, until you spend some time and listen. So
yeah,
that's
and I think it's phenomenal. And I haven't employed that tactic, and it's not even a tactic.
No, I know what you're saying. It's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, but I love that.
Okay.
I love that way of getting to know somebody.
Yeah.
Like, I really do, and I need to find a way to pay it forward to somebody else, because you left us with our mouth open. We're just like, dude, she's really, really sweet. She's awesome. I was not expecting to go for a walk. I wish I had put on my sweats or something like that. You know what I mean? But I thought it was cool, though. I thought it was really, really cool, and I commend you for that.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So I wanted to talk also about you. Not only is your heart big when it comes to people, but your heart is really huge when it comes to animals, and to dogs in particular, right?
Right.
Can you tell me about the other side thing that you're doing a lot of? Because you really are very present and frequent with that also.
Well, thanks. Besides my children, it is my passion. I had a dog growing later when I was at my folks. Not till I was 16 did we have a dog, and never had a dog after that until I was separated from my husband. And my dear cousin, who was involved in rescues wholeheartedly, I had taken care of a dog that whole summer for some family friends, the kids and I did, and it was just delightful. And when the puppy left, I said to my cousin, I said, if I could find this kind of dog, I would be golden. And sure enough, her rescue had just pulled Teddy from the shelter. He's asleep over here. I would turn the camera, but it doesn't look that fabulous. So she said, I think I have the right animal. And he was a gem. He was 10 months old, pulled from a shelter. He was an owner turn, and he was going to be euthanized that day. And he rescued me. He got us all through a difficult time with the joy that he brought to our house. And subsequently, we had a dog briefly that we were like the third owners. He was a troubled dog, but we really, really tried with him, and that didn't work out, unfortunately. But lastly, Valor, my big dog, who I'm surprised is not right here, he came from an organization I work with called Leashes of Valor. They train rescued dogs and dogs that have been donated to them by breeders for warriors with PTSD and traumatic brain injury. Wow. And I had been working with them to find them property for one of the organizations they worked with that did the same thing. And through some falling out with that, they decided to start their own foundation. And subsequently, I found them property out in Caroline County, and they started the farm out there, and have been fitting. They do it very differently than a lot of organizations. It's one warrior at a time that comes on campus for right now, until they can get the funds to build a magnificent facility that they're working towards. But right now, it's just very small and grassroots, one warrior at a time. They just had one leave last week, and they train them to, the dog's already been trained, and they just put the two together, and they go through a lot to figure out the best fit for the best warrior. And so it's been a wonderful thing to see, and the transformation that happens for the warriors is, I've seen it personally, and that's how I got involved in the organization, because I had read an article about my now dear friend Jason Haig, who was spotlighted for 3 series in the Freelance Star, and I learned his story and wanted to get to know how I could help him. And subsequently, he introduced me to different organizations he was affiliated with. And when we started Leashes, when he and Danique and Matt Massengill started Leashes of Valor, they graciously invited me to be on the board. So when Valor came along, he was pulled from a shelter in Pennsylvania by Matt, and he was washed out, which they couldn't utilize him because he's got the beginnings of hip dysplasia. Obviously, for a German Shepherd, that's not uncommon, but they don't want to strap their warriors with any unnecessary expenses that they can see in the front end. So we had over 12 people. I think I was the first to ask. So they kept me at top of the list. When he became available, he became ours. And so that's wonderful.
No, that is wonderful. And there's something that, you know, you part of the reason why I wanted to do this type of series is because not just for the business side or industry side, but it's also, there's a lot to say behind why we do what we do. And and the some might say the audacity that we have sometimes, that we think, oh, you know, you think you're going to be able to do this, or you think that you should do this or whatever. We do our best not to listen to anybody saying don't get into real estate, you know, or why are you spending time on this, like with what you're doing with the Leashes organization. But you're motivated by this huge compassion that you have for people, it sounds like.
Definitely.
You know?
Definitely. I just that came out of nowhere, getting connected with them, and I truly do believe that it was a God connection. Well, it's all a connection with him.
Right.
But that has just changed. It's changed my life. I have been a part of conversations with soldiers and warriors that I would have never had the opportunity to learn the depth of what they've done for us and what they do, what they deal with every day. They allow me in, and I'm not one of them, and they allow me in and are quite brutally honest with the stuff they've been through, and it is powerful. And there's no way it can't change you.
No, you'd probably be able to get into any circle, honestly. I mean, you know what to say. You know how to be. So, you know, given everything that you've talked about between the real estate and your love for people, and you seeing other people's stories and what they go through, and then you being motivated to want to help. To me, it makes for a great life, and it makes for a great purpose in somebody's life. You know, so I'm going to put you on the spot real quick and ask you just 2 questions. One of them being your personality that has gotten you to where you are right now in real estate, with the organization that you're helping with the associations and friendships that you have close. What would be 3 words that you think embody you and as far as your results so far?
Faith.
Yeah, for sure.
Trust.
That one's for sure. I know that one would be for sure.
Definitely faith, trust, and enthusiasm.
I love it.
That's it.
And there's lack of trust in so many different areas. And I think you do give trust right off the bat, don't you? Like, you give people the benefit of the doubt after you get to know them and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that can be a weakness. That can be a weakness, but that's just how I'm made.
You know,
until show me otherwise, I'm going to trust you.
No, and to your point, I mean, Liz is the same exact way. And when I first met Liz, that used to annoy me, like to no end. You know, I come from an area where, like, you don't trust anybody. Like, they have to earn the trust. And she always came from a place of like, well, I have no reason not to trust this person. And somewhere along the line, I think there's a fine balance, because there is a possibility of being naive, and there's a possibility of being too non-receptive, that you miss out on like awesome people coming into your life.
All the in between.
You block. Yeah. So, but no, you and Liz definitely have that in common, though, about just being very trustworthy.
That's quite a compliment, because I adore her. She's a love.
I appreciate that. Thank you. She's okay. She's got her moments. Nah, she is amazing, and I'm blessed to have her in my life. So thank you. And I'm glad that you got a chance to really get to know her too on that walk.
Indeed.
The last question I was going to ask you was, 1 year from now, what does that look like for you? And what I mean by that is there something, are you trying to get your personal real estate business or your personal, the program that you're working with the dogs and the leashes, what is it called again? I'm sorry.
Leashes of Valor.
Leashes of Valor.
Yeah.
Or even maybe something else. Is there something a year from now that you're looking to have at least started rolling, something that you've expanded, or something that, or anything else? I mean, is there anything that pops to mind as far as Patti's personal vision for like a year from now?
A year from now, I hope to keep growing what I've got going. It's not a dollar. I mean, obviously I have a dollar figure in my mind, but really with all this going on, that's really out the window. It's just maintaining and continuing relationships and change, embracing this change, managing this change, and just continuing to grow and learn and get out there and do what I love to do. I mean, right now in the short term, I kind of see that as short term.
Sure.
Just keep plugging away and keep going where I'm at. Long term, I do want to buy a house probably in the next year, a new house. But long term, it's my goal, because I really don't have much retirement anymore, is to become a property owner and have some rental properties and investments that way. But
Awesome.
That's pretty much it.
Well, I do want to tell you, something, because everything you said I love, but because it's me, I wouldn't be being, myself, or being a friend, or being even doing my job if I didn't go back to something that you said. You said that one of the goals that you have is out the window because of everything going on right now. And I have to remind you of two things. One, I know that anything's possible, because if I'm married to Liz, I know anything's possible, because there's no reason why that lady should be with me. And then, and secondly, think about for a second the gentleman that you were just talking about, that his life completely changed when he got connected with the right dog, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before he met that dog, it is a he, right? I didn't know if the service. Okay.
Yeah.
Before he met that dog, his outlook on everything was probably totally different. Whatever was in his heart was probably totally different. So he probably didn't. It wasn't even on his radar. Then that happened. So in his mind, I guarantee you, when he sits by himself and he reflects, he's thankful for you. He's thankful for being introduced to his dog and how his life changed. A lot of people don't ever find that. So
True.
It is possible. So the only reason why I'm saying that is because whatever that thing that you said is out the window, I don't know what it is, but I think it could still happen for you, and I think it will happen. So don't let go of it. You deserve a lot of good.
It's definitely, well, thank you. It's definitely still a vision, but I also have a realistic, logical part that sometimes needs to be out there. Definitely, it's still my vision, and I still have that in front of me. Good. But I also, and maybe because of these circumstances and my immediate plans for how I plan to get more in front of people this way, and connect this way.
Well, everybody was expecting the housing thing to, like you said, for things not to be as good as they're going, and that was a pleasant surprise.
Right.
I'm going to be on for the next year about that.
Well, I'm going to force myself to get out there and do more Zoom with my clients and have a conversation. I think, people want to feel a connection now that they're not, not being able to get on the canal path and walk with my friends is hard. Right. So it's just me and the dogs right now and my daughter. And, just not being able to have that connection. But when you can do this, I always leave these now going, that was so nice. A visit with a friend. So I'm hoping to reach out to my clients that way, and that are willing to do so. And then, just keep pushing forward. I've got a new plan for some videos that I want to do during the week and stuff like that. So, Ann, you and I need to talk about that offline about.
I appreciate it. We will.
I'm doing a bio, so that'd be great.
Yeah. Well, I applaud you for everything that you've accomplished so far and everything that you're continuing to accomplish, the role model that you're being for your daughter, being a good mama to your dogs and to your children, just everything. You're a huge light in everybody's life, and I don't say that just to say that. Everything's been pleasant about you since the day you and I met, and again, even if you complimenting Liz's character and that you adore her, it means a lot to me also, because it says that you see. I feel like light recognizes light. You guys,
very
that's probably why you guys resonate so well. So
that's very true.
I really appreciate you doing this. And if somebody wants to get in touch with you for the real estate or for the Leashes of Valor, what's the best way to contact you or to get more information from you?
Give me a call at 540-220-1607 or patty.murphy@longandfoster.com.
All right, perfect. And do you want anybody to follow you on social media or anything like that?
That would be great. Yes. On Facebook, I am on all Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, I just started, and LinkedIn, it's Patti Murphy Homes.
Perfect. Awesome.
Okay.
I appreciate you so much. You're a beautiful person. Thank you for everything. And I hope you have an amazing rest of the day.
Thank you for the opportunity, Alex. It's been delightful. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
All right.